The brain is looking to create patterns. It will trick you. It is the same identical color. It's the filing problem. We file our past into our future based on our past experiences, the past data points that we have, and we do it. We are victims of our biological origins. There's not something wrong with you, it's who you are. You know, if I jump at you and I put my hand at your eye, you're going to flinch. You're going to blink, right? We are neural responses. We love to think of ourselves as, you know, these independent creatures. We're not. We're just, you know, highly evolved monkeys. We have a filing problem. As we grow, we organize our perception based on patterns that create meanings. We organize our perception based on patterns that create meanings, and those patterns come from our past. Sometimes they are literally embedded in our DNA. Why are you afraid of a spider and not a car? And sometimes it's based on what we experience in our own lives. But it's the past playing itself out into our future. This is reproductive thinking. Sorry, hard to read on the screen. It's reproductive thinking. We reproduce and reproduce the events. And then we're surprised when we come up with stupid solutions to problems that no longer work. I mean, if you think about your educational process. I have another presentation on this thing, a bunch of pictures from the schools in Finland in the 1950s. You can't see any damn difference. It's the same thing. What you're doing in 2014 is more or less the same as what they did in 1950. Reproductive thinking with the same pattern over and over and over again. And then we're astonished when somehow we end up doing the same dumb thing again. When we've trained ourselves, we've got both a biological imperative and we train ourselves to do reproductive thinking. New problems that seem similar to past experiences are solved the same way. Right? Does that make sense? Do you see that? You do that. New problems that seem similar to past experiences get solved the same way. Interesting. We grow so set in our thinking that we ignore or reject facts and opportunities that contradict the structure of our thinking. We will reject a fact. We will ignore a fact. We'll deny something before we abandon our structured thinking. There's zillions of examples of that. And yet we call upon you to be entrepreneurs to invent and create and do new and innovative things. If you think about your own educational history, how often in your educational background will you actually find yourself in this condition? When were you trained to really think outside the box, to not listen to the teacher, to break, this is going to sound terrible, to break the rules? In Finland. Just for fun. I'm doing an apartment over in Helsinki. I like doing buildings and movies. And I was told that for one of the bathrooms that I had to have a door that's 900 millimeters wide for handicap access. Okay? The building was built in 1899. It's on an upper floor. And the elevator is 596 millimeters wide. It took weeks of dealing with the city of Helsinki to convince them that, in fact, building a 900 millimeter wide entrance door to a bathroom on an upper floor didn't make sense since you couldn't get there because the elevator was only 596 millimeters wide. God damn it, there's a rule and we are not bending from the rule. Okay, that's the problem. What's the solution? What do we do about it? Just as you train your body, you train your mind. If you play hockey, you practice. If you skate, run, do athletics, you practice. If you play the piano, you practice, whatever it is. But you have to do the same thing with your head. Because in fact, all of the cards are stacked against you. Is that who's one? One of my favorites. You guys love risk. Risk, failure, embarrassment. How many times do you confront that? Whether it's your family, your parents, your friends, society. Oh my God, how's this going to look? Am I going to be embarrassed? I might fall down, I might fail. I could, whatever it is. The whole social structure is designed to make you conform to reproductive thinking. The very concept of embarrassment. What are you embarrassed about? Really? We all end up dead. That's an embarrassing reality, right? It's ugly. There he is, dead. So what are you embarrassed about? You're going to have a life? Ooh, terrible, It's crazy. But these are social structures and other things we impose on ourselves to make sure we stay in the frame of reproductive thinking. Seen that warm and fuzzy look before? Right? Your dad, your teacher, your boss. What about that says, really, go out there and break the rules? Go out there and do something that's not reproductive thinking. Hi, Dad. Fear is the story we tell ourselves. Fear is the story we tell ourselves, and it's just one of those devices we do to keep us in the framework of reproductive thinking. Creativity takes courage. You've got to really give up what is to create what's possible. And that takes courage. Because you have to stop worrying about the embarrassment, you have to stop worrying about the failure and the risk, and what does mom think, what does dad think, what do your neighbor think? If that's what you care about, you will not succeed as an entrepreneur. You won't. Because anybody who cares about that basically is surrendering. And I'm going to prove my point. Watch this. Since you've been on the phone, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite color? Purple. Cool. I gave you an easy one. I let you off easy on that one. And what is your favorite food? For example, pizza. Okay. I'm sorry, your name is Miko likes pizza, and Anu likes perfect. Okay. I got good news. Miko, because you like pizza, you will in fact have pizza as your only food source for the rest of your life. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pizza, 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 and more pizza. And Anu, wonderful that you chose purple, because the good news is you get to choose one color purple, one shade of purple, and every single piece of clothing you wear every day for the rest of your life will be that one shade of purple. Cool, right? Let me ask you. Would you let me do that for you? Would you let me choose pizza for you for every meal for the rest of your life?
Oh, no. I'm not.
Purple, not picking the color for you for the rest of your life? Okay. So if you're not going to let me pick the color of your clothes, and you're not going to let me pick your food, why in the hell would you let me pick your future? Because if you don't shape the future for yourselves, somebody else will do it for you. I will. Your parents will. Your peers will. It'll be embarrassing. You might take a risk. If you don't grab it and shape it and it's yours, somebody else will. You'll be wearing purple, you'll be eating pizza, but whatever it is you'll be doing, you will not be living into your future. You'll be living into somebody else's. The entrepreneur gets that at their core. It's not somebody else's vision. It's yours. It's not somebody else's future. It's yours. Because if you don't get that, you will wear purple and you will eat pizza